Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tiny English. I'm May.
And I'm Gray. It's great to see you all again. We're so happy you decided to join us today for another lesson.
Today, we have a very interesting and useful topic. It's something I think everyone struggles with or has difficulty with at some point in their lives. I know I do.
That's right. We're going to talk about time. More specifically, we're going to discuss how to manage your time effectively. Effectively means in a way that works well and produces the result you want.
So let me ask you and everyone watching at home, do you ever feel like you have 100 things to do, but only 24 hours in a day?
I definitely feel that way often. Sometimes my to-do list is so long, I don't even know where to start. It can feel very overwhelming. When something is overwhelming, it means it's too much to handle or manage.
Exactly. That feeling of being overwhelmed can make you not want to do anything at all. It's a real problem. So in this episode, we want to share some simple tips and tricks to help you control your schedule, feel less stressed, and get more done.
We hope these ideas will help you in your studies, your work, and your daily life. Our goal is to give you practical advice that you can start using right away. Are you ready to become a time management master?
Fantastic! But before we dive into the main conversation, let's learn some important vocabulary words that we will be using today. This will help you understand our conversation much better.
That's a great idea, May. Knowing these words is key. The first word is prioritize. To prioritize means to decide which tasks are the most important so that you can do them first.
For example, you might say, I have to study for an exam and also wash my clothes. I need to prioritize the exam, so I will study first. It's about putting first things first.
Very clear. Our next word is procrastinate. This is a very common verb. To procrastinate means to delay or postpone doing something that you should be doing. Usually, you procrastinate because you don't want to do the task.
A perfect example is, I always procrastinate when I have to clean my room. I watch TV shows instead of starting to clean. How about you viewers? Do you ever procrastinate? Let us know in the comments what you do when you procrastinate.
I think we are all guilty of that sometimes. The third word is deadline. A deadline is the specific time or date by which something must be finished.
For instance, my teacher gave me a deadline of this Friday to finish my history project. Deadlines can feel stressful, but they also help us get things done on time.
Very true. Our fourth word is schedule. A schedule is a plan of things that will happen or that you must do at particular times. It's like a timetable for your day or your week.
You could say, according to my schedule, I have an English class at 10 a.m. and a piano lesson at 4 p.m. Having a schedule can really help you stay organized and see your day clearly.
And our final word for today is productive. If you are productive, it means you are doing or achieving a lot. You are using your time well to get good results.
For example, I had a very productive afternoon. I finished all my homework and even had time to read a chapter of my book. Our goal with time management is to be more productive with the time we have.
Okay, so just to review our 5 words, we have prioritize, procrastinate, deadline, schedule, and productive. Keep these words in mind as we start our main conversation.
All right, Gray, let's talk honestly. Last week, I felt so stressed. I had a work project, a family dinner to plan, and I promised my friend I would help her move. I felt like I was running around all day, but wasn't finishing anything important.
I completely understand that feeling, May. It's like being busy but not productive. You're doing many small things, but the big, important tasks are still waiting for you at the end of the day. It's a frustrating feeling. Frustrating means it makes you feel annoyed or upset because you can't achieve what you want.
Yes, that's the perfect word for it. So, what's the first step? When you feel like that, what's the first thing you do to try and get control back?
For me, the absolute first step is to stop and make a list. I take out a piece of paper or open an app on my phone and I write down everything I need to do. Big things, small things, everything. Just getting it out of my head and onto a list makes me feel a little better.
I do that too. It's called a brain dump. You just dump everything from your brain onto the page. But then I have another problem. I look at this super long list and I feel overwhelmed all over again. The list itself is scary.
I know what you mean. The list can be a monster. But that's where our first vocabulary word comes in: prioritize. You can't do everything at once. So after you make the list, you have to decide what is most important.
How do you decide? How do you prioritize your tasks? Sometimes everything feels important.
That's a great question. A simple way to think about it is to ask 2 questions for each task on your list. First, is this urgent? Urgent means it needs to be done right now. Second, is this important? Important means it helps you reach a bigger goal.
Okay, so urgent and important. Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say your list has finish a report for work due tomorrow and organize your bookshelf. The report is both urgent because the deadline is tomorrow and important because it's part of your job. Organizing your bookshelf is nice, but it's not urgent and probably not as important as the report.
So you should definitely do the report first. What about a task that is urgent but not important?
An example could be a friend calling you to chat about something that isn't an emergency while you are trying to work. The phone is ringing now, so it feels urgent, but the conversation might not be truly important for your goals at that moment. Maybe you can call them back.
And what about something that is important but not urgent?
That's a good one. Things like exercising, learning a new skill, or planning for your future are very important for your life. But they don't have an immediate deadline, so they aren't urgent. Because of this, we often procrastinate on them.
I see. So the trick is to focus on the tasks that are important. We should do the urgent and important tasks first, then we need to make time in our schedule for the important but not urgent tasks.
Exactly. If you only do urgent things, you will always feel stressed, like you're always putting out fires. To be really productive, you need to spend time on the things that are truly important in the long run.
That makes so much sense. So step 1 is to make a list. Step 2 is to prioritize the list by thinking about what's urgent and what's important. This already makes me feel more in control.
It's a game changer. But what about those big, important tasks? The ones we procrastinate on because they just feel too big to start. For example, study for the final exam or write a 10-page essay.
I hate those. When I see write a 10-page essay on my list, my brain just shuts down. I suddenly find a great interest in cleaning the kitchen or watching videos about cats.
You and me both. That's a classic sign of procrastination. The task feels so big and difficult that we do anything else to avoid it. The solution here is to break it down.
Break it down? You mean like into smaller pieces?
Precisely. Write a 10-page essay is not one task. It's many small tasks. For example, first, choose a topic. Second, research the topic and find sources. Third, write an outline, which is a plan for the essay. Fourth, write the introduction. Fifth, write the first main paragraph, and so on.
So instead of one giant scary task, you have a list of small easy tasks. Write the introduction sounds much easier than write a 10-page essay.
Exactly. And when you finish a small task, you can check it off your list. This gives you a feeling of success and makes you want to continue. It builds momentum. Momentum is the force that keeps you going.
I love that idea. I could apply that to cleaning my apartment. Instead of clean the apartment, my list could be wash the dishes, take out the trash, clean the bathroom mirror. It feels much more manageable.
It works for everything. Learning an instrument, exercising, any big project. Break it down into the smallest possible steps. What's a big project you have right now, May, that you could break down?
Well, I want to create a small garden on my balcony. It feels like a lot of work, but I could break it down into 1. Buy pots and soil. 2. Choose which plants to buy. 3. Plant the first flower. That sounds fun, not scary.
See? It works. It turns a challenge into a simple plan. So we have making a prioritized list and breaking down big tasks. But even with a good plan, sometimes it's hard to just sit down and focus. My mind starts to wander.
Now you are talking about my biggest problem, distractions. My phone is my worst enemy when I try to be productive. A notification pops up and suddenly 30 minutes have passed, and I've been scrolling through social media.
The phone is a major source of distraction. But there are other things too. People talking around you, the TV, even your own thoughts about other things you need to do. How do we fight these distractions?
I've been trying a technique that has helped me a lot. It's called the Pomodoro technique. Have you heard of it?
I have. It's named after a tomato, right? Pomodoro is Italian for tomato.
That's right. The creator of the technique used a kitchen timer shaped like a tomato. The idea is very simple. You choose one task to work on, you set a timer for 25 minutes, and you work on only that one task until the timer rings. No checking your phone, no getting up for a snack, just 25 minutes of pure focus.
And what happens after the 25 minutes?
After the timer rings, you take a short break, about 5 minutes. You can stand up, stretch, get some water, or look out the window. After the 5-minute break, you set the timer for another 25 minutes of work.
So you work in these short blocks of time. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of break.
Exactly. And after you complete 4 Pomodoros, which is 4 25-minute work sessions, you take a longer break, like 15 to 30 minutes. This technique helps me because 25 minutes feels short. I can convince myself to focus for just 25 minutes.
That sounds very effective. It's like a mini deadline you set for yourself. And the breaks are built into the schedule so you don't feel guilty about taking them. I think putting your phone in another room during those 25 minutes would be a great idea too.
Oh, that's the most important rule for me. My phone has to be on silent and out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. It's a great English expression. What do you think, everyone? Could you try working for just 25 minutes without looking at your phone? It's harder than it sounds.
It is, but it's a great habit to build. Another thing about distractions is creating a good environment to work in. If I try to work on my sofa with the TV on, I know I will not be productive. I have a specific desk in a quiet corner of my room that I use only for work or study.
That's a smart habit. When you sit at that desk, your brain knows it's time to focus. It's like a signal to your mind. My signal is putting on my headphones, even if I'm not listening to music. It tells my family and myself that I am in work mode.
These are all excellent strategies. So let's imagine we have our prioritized list, we've broken down our big tasks, and we're using a technique like Pomodoro to focus. What else is important for good time management?
I think there's one more thing we often forget, especially when we are very busy, and that is the importance of rest.
Yes, you cannot be productive if you are tired. Many people think that to do more, they need to sleep less. But it's the opposite. If you don't get enough sleep, your brain doesn't work well. You can't focus, you make more mistakes, and you have less energy.
It's so true. I know that if I sleep for only 5 hours, the next day I am very slow. I read the same sentence 3 times. It might take me 2 hours to do a task that would normally take 1 hour. So I actually lose time by sleeping less.
Exactly. Good sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity for being productive. And it's not just about sleep at night. It's also about taking real breaks during the day. The 5-minute Pomodoro breaks are good, but we also need longer breaks.
You mean like a proper lunch break away from your desk?
Yes, and also scheduling time for fun and relaxation. Your schedule shouldn't just be work and chores. You need to schedule time for your hobbies, for seeing friends, for just doing nothing. This is how you recharge your energy.
I agree. If your whole day is just work, 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 you will burn out. To burn out means to become extremely tired or sick from working too hard. When you are burned out, you have no motivation left.
So, paradoxically, a key part of managing your time effectively is to schedule time to not be productive. Schedule your rest. Schedule your fun. This will give you the energy and focus you need when it is time to work.
It's all about balance, isn't it? Balancing work and rest, balancing urgent tasks and important goals, balancing focus and relaxation.
That's the perfect word, May. Balance. Time management isn't about controlling every second of your life. It's about creating a balanced life where you can achieve your goals without feeling stressed and overwhelmed all the time.
I feel much better already just talking about these strategies. It makes the whole process feel less scary and more possible. So, to our viewers, which of these tips do you think would be most helpful for you? Making a list, breaking down tasks, the Pomodoro technique? Let us know.
And maybe you have your own special time management tricks. We would love to hear them. Sharing ideas is a great way for all of us to learn.
Wow, Gray, that was a very productive conversation. I feel like I have a clear plan now.
Me too. Let's do a quick summary of the main tips we discussed for everyone watching. First, when you feel overwhelmed, make a to-do list to get all the tasks out of your head.
Second, prioritize that list. Focus on what is truly important, not just what is urgent. This will help you make real progress.
Third, if you have a big, scary task, break it down into small, manageable steps. This helps you avoid the urge to procrastinate.
Fourth, manage your distractions. Create a quiet workspace and try a focus technique like the Pomodoro method to work in short, focused blocks of time. Remember to put that phone away.
And finally, fifth, don't forget to rest. Schedule breaks, hobbies, and fun into your day. Getting enough sleep is one of the most productive things you can do. A good schedule includes time for rest.
These are all wonderful tips. We really hope they help you manage your time more effectively and live a more balanced, less stressful life.
What are your biggest challenges with time management? Do you procrastinate a lot, or are distractions your main problem? Please share your experiences and your own tips in the comments below. We love reading them and learning from you.
And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Tiny English and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next video.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Keep practicing your English and managing your time well.
Bye for now, everyone.